Good morning to you, Eben, and it's a lovely weather, firstly, here down in the Northern Cape. And I must also say that this is the only province which is really sparsely populated, with a population of about just over 1 million. And we've been made to understand that there were also about 28,000 special votes. But with me now, just to give us the current situation within the province as to what actually is happening, is the IEC officer, Bonolo Modise. Bonolo, can you just give us an outline of what the situation is like here?
Well, we are very happy with the way we started the day yesterday in visiting either people who had applied at home or those who are going to visit the voting stations. No incidents have been reported to us of any disruptions or challenges that we experienced in trying to do that yesterday and this morning. So generally, we are very happy with the response that we have received from voters in the province, and we hope that this will carry on to tomorrow.
But we've been made to understand that there is another area where the people have threatened. It's called Klein Nare. People have threatened not to vote tomorrow. Have you heard anything about that?
Well, that has been brought to the attention of the Electoral Commission, that there is a possibility that tomorrow voters in that area might not go and vote. However, we are set to go and open the station tomorrow at 7, and we will deal with the situation as it comes tomorrow.
How many polling stations do you have around the country?
The province has 694 voting stations, and all the 694 stations will be open tomorrow.
And the electoral staff?
There's 5,531 officials that we are contracting to assist us with this process, but for yesterday and tomorrow, the number is much smaller than that. Tomorrow, all stations will be opened, and we expect everybody to pitch up.
Take us just briefly through the process of the special voting. How did it go, and what's the situation now?
Well, there were two categories of applications that we received. It was for those who could be visited at home, where we sent out a team to the voter to allow the voter to cast his or her ballot. And then there was also a group that went directly to the voting stations. I was informed that there was an incident yesterday at an old age center where the report we received indicated that about 14 voters couldn't vote. I went there this morning only to find that it was only 3 voters who were affected, and it wasn't because we were not able to allow them to vote yesterday. It was logistical arrangements as it related to the elderly who were not very well at the time.
And what time are you hoping to close?
Our stations will close at 5 this afternoon.
Bonolo Modise, the IEC officer here in the Northern Cape. A very smooth process already that is taking place, and one can see as you drive around, even the people, most of them are showing willingness to come and vote. But now with me again, just to look at the processes and to look at the whole political scenario, it's Dr. Matebesi, the analyst. Dr. Matebesi, the issues around the electoral processes or the elections themselves, what would you say it's really prevailing? Matters that affect the elections or personalities?
It is definitely personalities that affect the elections. If you can look at the campaign of the Democratic Alliance in the province, it has always been centered around the chairperson of the ANC in the province, the alleged corruption charges against John Block in the province. But to what extent will that benefit the D8? We will still see that after tomorrow's results. But I think also what is very important is that the ANC aims to garner 70% of the votes in the Northern Cape. But one factor, one variable which will play a key role in this province will definitely be voter turnout. For the past 3 provincial elections, we had a voter turnout of around about 75%. And if we are going to get any turnout which is lower than 75, especially in Solplaatje, then definitely that will put the ANC at a disadvantage. We should also take into consideration the role of COPE, although there have been some infightings within the party at national level. But one thing that we need to understand about the Northern Cape is that Cape has been the strongest amongst all provinces with 17% of the votes in 2009. And the question is, the new kid on the block, EFS, will it take away votes from the Cape? I don't think that is. If anything is going to happen, perhaps Cape will even consolidate its position in this province.
Would then that be ruling out the current or the new other kids on the block? You remember we had just less than 16 political parties which were contesting. Now we have 16. What about these new smaller ones? Will they have any impact?
Well, I know the party like IFP is also contesting the elections in this province. All those smaller parties will definitely still get less than 1% of the votes in this province. And I think for me, it's actually, I don't think they will make any significant impact on the overall results. But definitely the new kid on the block, EFS, will definitely get around about less than 5 or even 5% of the votes here. But I think another variable that comes into play will, for the very first time, your independent Democrats will go actually vote under the banner of DA. And once again, we'll have to ask the question, what is going to happen to that? Will the voters follow, the ID under the banner of the DA? And I think that is another variable which will definitely also have an impact on the likelihood that all the opposition parties will have to fight for this 30% which is available. Because my prediction is definitely that the ANC will still win the elections in this province.
Thank you very much, Dr. Modise. I'm sorry just to call him Dr. Modise, Dr. Matebesi. That's how we come to an end of our discussion with the analysts pertaining to the issues around the Northern Cape, hoping to see elections go smooth and well. Thank you very much, and back to the studio.